Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 9, Episode 10.
Listen, don't rush us. We are going to get to the ultimatum. We had a busy week, okay? You can check out the later daters. We just finished that. I just released Huntsville. We got Sister Wives. We got Married in Medicine. We got this show. I am up to here, okay? But we're trying. You ready, Blair?
Yes.
Walk us through this episode.
Gizelle is talking to her daughters. Mm-hmm. Adore and Angel are going to college, and she tells them that she is going to go to court to fight for the current will that her dad has to be thrown out.
Yeah.
Apparently, when he was incapacitated, somebody around him came around to get him to sign for the will to be changed to where she and her sibling gets nothing. But if they get this will thrown out, then they can go back to getting 2/3 of his estate. And she was there around the time to where this person came around to have her dad sign a new will. Her dad was all about legacy, generational wealth, and at that time there was no way he could read, let alone hold up a pen.
Yeah.
Jamal put money in a trust for his daughters so they don't have to be worried about him and any money issues regarding him getting married. But Gizelle doesn't want to remarry due to the possible issues of there being financial misconduct.
Yeah. Do like this story sound kind of suspicious to you? Like someone came last minute while he's on his deathbed with a whole new will, with a whole new papers on papers on papers on papers on papers. And he just signed it, or they forged his signature, and it's a total new will?
It happens. Know from experience. It happens.
I'm just saying, like, but usually it happens from the inside. Like I wouldn't think it's a suspicious person. I
just think she doesn't want to say who it is. I wouldn't be surprised if it was another family member.
Probably your cousin. Like
I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think she wants to say who the person is.
Listen here, man. I'm snitching.
Okay.
I'm snitching. That's why I'm like, the way she was making it sound, it was like somebody came in. No, you know who it is. Listen, it's Bobby. It's cousin Bobby, you get what I'm saying? Or basically cousin Peanut who came around, or probably even an older sibling. Who knows? Sibling rivalry all the time. But I want to talk about something small that we skimmed over that she touched on a little bit that happened last episode when it comes to her daughters. And this whole fake facade of children is off limits. Children is not off limit on this show. I find it very interesting that she tried to say, hey, if my daughters got social media, if they want to talk about their lives, they can talk about their lives. But I think the loophole that Gizelle is trying to use her children for is Gizelle's storyline is her children. So because her storyline is so much her children, then like now all of a sudden children is off limits. No. I like the fact that Mia said, hey, you try to portray as if like your life is this way, but when it's time for filming and things of that nature, you don't bring up actual things that's going on in your life, things that we can actually talk about. If your children is your storyline, then how come you didn't bring up the fact that you caught something on the Ring camera when it comes to your kids if you make your kids your storyline? That's how I feel about it. But, I digress.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think that the women and the adults on the show should be getting into too much of what their kids have going on.
Okay.
I think that they do need to protect their children from the public eye, especially if they're under 18. So I wouldn't expect anyone to disclose issues that they're having with their teenagers because, like Gizelle's saying, like her kids are doing well. They're going to college.
That's fair.
They, have a future ahead of them. And why put something out there that could haunt their child for years to come when it comes to them building up their foundation? People should be allowed to make mistakes in their youth and allow it to not be seen. So that way it doesn't stain them in what they move on to do in the future. So I think the kids should be off limit as far as discussing any issues or problems they're having because they're not the ones getting paid for their pain.
Oh no, don't get it twisted. I'm not out here just want to expose children. I'm basically criticizing the fact that Gizelle, outside of your children, you have no storyline. And I'm like, Gizelle, come up with something else besides your children.
But that's why I say Gizelle shouldn't be on the show.
But no, I 100% agree.
Yeah, but I don't think the answer to that is talking about the
I understand that. But if children is off limits, and if one person make their children their full storyline, then you're basically saying Gizelle is off limits. That's not fair. That's how I feel
There's
about
a lot to go at Gizelle about, other than her kids.
What
her
else?
House.
What else has Gizelle showed about? In this episode, what else has Gizelle showed us?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we move on. TJ makes pizza for Stacy.
This is interesting.
He talks about how he was stressed at Wendy's party.
Oh boy.
He felt like a Uber, and she didn't check on him at all while they were at the party. It was 4 hours. She was doing her own thing. She apologizes. She said if it was one thing, it was another. It was a lot going on, and she tells him it will never happen again. She thought that he would be okay hanging with the guys. We see a clip of Ray talking about the first computer he bought in 1975. Personal computer.
I don't think that's the guys. I think that's Ray. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my thoughts about it. I think TJ's here for the cameras.
Of course.
He's really hamming it up. And whenever we talk about, or when it's the housewives and they have their friends or their families around when it comes to the show, we don't usually ask them how they feel about stuff. We're trying to figure out how the housewives feel about what's going on. So for TJ to talk about, I felt a way and this is what I was thinking and all this type of stuff. Well, sir, you are not a housewife. We don't care too much about how you was feeling that day.
No, that is 100% facts. TJ, I feel like, number one, Stacey, why do you subject yourself to this type of and I don't want to say treatment as if it's like, oh my goodness, he's Ike Turner or something like that. But to even say, oh, it will never happen again. It might happen again. I'm at work.
Exactly.
You came to my job. You get what I'm saying? The fact that I even brought you here, you over here talk about, I felt like I was an Uber date or something like that. And you didn't come get me in the 4 hours. Like, what were you expecting? You get what I'm saying? Were you expecting scenes to be scenes to basically be circled around you, basically be centered around you? You're not that interesting. We don't know much about you besides you are celibate, So the fact that he thought that, number one, Stacey's not even a main character on the show, even though this is her first season and she's learning her way around the show. I don't know what he was expecting. And to put it on Stacey as if she personally did something to him is not foul. And Stacey, for you to be like, it will never happen again. I'm like, Stacey, why are you subjecting yourself to this?
Yeah. Well, TJ asked if she might hire a forensic accountant for her divorce. She hasn't really thought of that. And they have about 3 more meetings for mediation. Stacey isn't going to give TJ too much information about the divorce because she understands that it's between her and her soon-to-be ex-husband. Yeah. And also TJ hasn't been married before, so it's just certain things that she probably isn't going to, well, she says she's not going to go into deep detail about with him. She brings up how the ladies think that it wouldn't be smart for her to enter into another serious relationship after her marriage. Okay. And TJ acknowledges that divorce is traumatic because it is a loss, but sex with people you don't care about isn't going to fix that. And Stacey asked him, would you continue this journey if I saw other people? He would still care about her, but he wouldn't close himself off to other options. And Stacey said, well, it's not like you even wanted to sleep with me. And to him, it's not about the sex. Stacey would like to hear him fight for her a little bit. And he says that he wants her to be good for her, then see his value. He would like her to choose him, but she doesn't have to.
Stacey, do you have any shame? Just a little bit. You don't need a lot of shame. You just need just a little bit of shame. Stacey, for you to put yourself out there on a guy that we literally in the same scene told you to basically make sure you check up on me when you're at work. Also, when y'all was at the party, he basically told you, don't touch me. Get your hands up off of me. You get what I'm saying?
Pull it together.
Exactly. Talk about pull it together. Don't basically putting you in your place. How are you letting someone who's not your husband, someone that we can't even say is your boyfriend, but just a person of interest, put you in your place? Do you have just a little bit of shame? What is your thoughts, Blair?
My thoughts, I don't know. I feel like my thoughts might be a little left field here.
You can take us wherever you want to take us.
But I do think at a certain point, I mean, they're in their 40s or so.
Okay.
You can express interest in that you would like to be with somebody, but no, they don't have to choose to be with you. Yeah. And TJ has put out what his expectations or his boundaries are, and if Stacey wants to align with that, then they can pursue whatever they're pursuing. But if she wants to seek out something differently, then she has the freedom to do so.
You're right.
And honestly, yes, it would be romantic if he fought for her to stay with him and all this type of stuff, but technically they're not even together. So I think that he's trying to explore the situation with her, but he's not going to lock her down, which I don't think she should have to, especially when the fact that she's just coming out of divorce. She should be allowed to explore, and the person who has an interest in her should understand that that's the space that she's in. So
is it fair that maybe she's expecting too much from TJ?
I do, because the fact that they haven't said that they are a couple or exclusive, and she's wanting him to fight for her as though they're in a relationship. Yeah. It does sound like they're on two different pages. Even the fact that he is committed to the celibacy thing, and it sounds like she's kind of waiting for him to drop it. Yeah. So I was just like, I don't really know if you guys actually align.
And then it's almost in a way like you are making him the prize. You making him the baddie. I don't know. Maybe Stacey is one of those women, or just one of those people that cannot be single. Like they have to be in a relationship. That's why she's making sure she's getting her ducks in order. So once the divorce is final, I will never be single, because that's where I find my status, my worth. I don't know, because like my thing is, why are you chasing after this guy? I'm just like, it just seems very like it seems like you're forcing it. It's just weird to me.
So we move on. Wendy is at a restaurant. She's meeting up with her sister first, and her mom is arriving later. She's telling her sister that she hasn't told her mom that she resigned from being a professor at Johns Hopkins yet. When her mom shows up, she does end up telling her, and her mom asks her if she's crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
She lost her appetite, and she asks her, where you going?
Where are you going?
Her plan is to focus on her kids and her talk show, and she still has her degrees. She's still a doctor. She might find a part-time position at another university, which I believe they did tell us that she ended up doing that. But she felt like she was being tolerated where she was and not appreciated. Her mom says, ultimately, you don't have to be chained to one place. You have your credentials, and the doors will open for you. So,
you think the mom meant what like she said?
I actually do. I think it went better than expected. I think that the mom probably has been getting some type of benefit from Wendy being on the show.
Of course.
So I think she's not going to press her luck too much, because Wendy is doing well for herself as well as Eddie. Yeah. So as long as they continue to pay her monthly stipend,
her little allowance.
Exactly. I think she pretty much fine whatever y'all got going on.
Listen here, I like what Wendy said. And she said, "I'm here. Yes, I quit my job so I can be a mother, my talk show and things. No, tell her the truth so you can sell weed with Eddie."
Okay.
That's why you quit it, because it really made no sense for you to go to work when the business that y'all have on Happy Eddie was doing that well.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? To where you could actually, at that point, there is a point to where you have enough money, and now the thing that becomes more valuable than money in this situation is time.
Exactly.
And you're like, what am I doing with my time? Okay. It's one thing if you can go to work and then like work is over, but being a professor and things like that, she gotta come home, prepare for the next day, grade, probably have some, so it's like, is it even
professor hours, office hours?
Is it even worth it? Now in real time, she did take up another job as a professor somewhere else. I
think she got like a part-time job. I think at Columbia.
Yes.
Like I think it might be like an online type situation to where she can teach like don't quote me, y'all. Like the psychology of reality
yeah,
TV,
I read that somewhere too.
Or sociology of it and something like that. So it more so aligns with where her interests are at currently.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so we move on to Ashley and Gizelle.
Oh boy,
they are going all these fake little speed dates.
Yeah. Can you speed us past this just a little bit? Like basically, what's the gist of this?
The gist of it is Ashley likes flirting. Gizelle has a type, Namse, that she says that she's interested in, and Ashley connected with the guy Josh, who she later goes on a second date with. But as we know, these ladies, they're not serious about this, so it's just a scene.
And this is what I'm talking about. And I understand why y'all may feel like Mia bring down the show, but Mia's the only one with a storyline right now. That's why I can criticize Gizelle and say, outside of your kids, this is what you're doing. I understand that you may say, and when I say you, I'm talking to everybody, that you may say, hey, kids is off limits. And my question or my response to that is, do Gizelle follow that same rule? Has she followed that same rule throughout the whole basically the whole seasons of Potomac? No, she have not. So my thing is, hey, come up with a better storyline, come up with a different focus besides me just saying Gizelle is a great mother and a baker. You get what I'm saying? Like we don't even see her bake.
Well, I will say one thing. Gizelle has never came for anybody's kids.
Whoa. She did come for the legitimacy of somebody's kid.
No, it was brought up that she was going to do that, but she never actually did do that.
But she was going to do that. That's even worse. Somebody stopped it.
But it never happened.
Stop it, Blair.
It never happened.
Stop it, Blair. We are not going to split the hair of what her plan was, and somebody stepping in and saying we are not going to do that.
Okay.
Her intentions was to do that.
Y'all tell us what you think.
And listen here, man. All I'm asking for is I understand that we are a season removed and we are all on the Giselle's not so bad train. And I get it, right? I understand it. But my thing is, we seen Robin gone. We see Candiace gone. I'm very surprised to see Ashley this season. Gizelle, I understand they told you got to be nice to the cast and unite people. But now it's also time for you to come up with a story. Listen, from what I've been told, right? Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is beating everybody.
Oh, it's great.
Like, come on now. Salt Lake City?
High body count hair, high body count shoes, high body count outfit.
We are talking Salt Lake City. We talking about, we got Beverly Hills, we got Atlanta, we got all these major cities and things of that nature. And Potomac, what are y'all doing? Y'all having scenes that we gonna see eventually with Mia and like Kiana in a takeout place. Like what are we doing with this show?
I'm vibing.
Okay, thank you. let's
here for the vibes.
I ain't gonna hold you. This next scene is my favorite scene that happened tonight. Okay.
So Karen and Ray chat.
Yeah.
She's realizing that she was an emotional wreck the night of the accident.
Yeah.
She felt a lack of support from Ray prior to the accident.
Okay.
But since then, he has been going above and beyond to reciprocate what she's done for him in the past. And this is what makes a great institution. I love that she calls her marriage an institution. I'm just like, yes, ma'am. He says that he has been supportive and her taxi cab a little bit. So she doesn't have to get behind the wheel. And I'm just like, she can't. She better not. But she says that they can't take their marriage for granted. It's been 28 years and they have been going through the ups and the downs and they're still sticking strong.
Yeah, she said, to reiterate what Blair just said, that prior to the accident, that basically they've been having struggles and they did not know if their marriage was going to survive it because it just overflowed. And in that scene, I was Ray and Ray was me. He took his glasses off like, we were?
Pause. Before you go on, the clip that they keep showing of when Ray was saying that, you know, he thinks he loves his wife, y'all, that was 2020.
Wow.
Why are we going back that far?
And
we ain't got nothing more recent.
And they cut it off really fast. You know what I'm saying?
So like, you couldn't really catch the year.
Exactly. I also don't know what the context was or anything like that, right? Only thing I kept hearing is like, okay, we understand you help with the taxes and things of that nature. But, hey, Karen, I think I understand why you haven't. You know, this is the month that allegedly you're supposed to be going to court for your DUI. I don't think you could put this on Ray. Look, I understand it's an institution and we share blame. I understand he had tax problems and you took on his tax problems and now you probably feel like, hey, these are my DUIs. You need to take on some blame for my DUIs. I think Ray is like, okay, but like, I don't think I did anything. And for him to even throw shade of like, you know, I've been your little taxi cab driving you around, I think it was a funny scene.
Yeah, and I was like, Karen is going to get them up off her, including her husband.
Oh yeah, her own husband. And he ain't even trying to get up on her.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
She's like, you know, you didn't support me. Right?
Exactly. He's like,
okay.
Like I think it was when Dale was about to go to court the first time, but he said like he'd rather be golfing or something like that, or like or like he said like I'd rather not be here. And they was like, okay, well, thank you, Ray.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kiana is in uniform.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Point that out.
Yes.
Now here's the thing. Last episode, I named the episodes, right? Just to give y'all a little behind the scenes, right? And I wrote specifically, Kiana, you are an employee. And somebody in the comments, one of our family members, and when I say family members, I don't mean real family. I mean y'all are our family, right? Y'all wrote, aren't we all employees? No. The way that Kiana was parading around that she was an equal to her boss / boyfriend or whoever he is, right? And then for him to basically be like, oh yeah, that little thing you got on, that uniform, where's your
t-shirt?
Where's your shirt at? Like this ain't it. And for her to basically brush it off or to play it up for the camera, like, oh come on, stop it. But now the next day we see you in your little open arms polo.
Yeah,
it looks good on you.
It
you
does.
Get what I'm saying?
But I will say too that Kiana came to work today, and not just to work at Housewives of Potomac. She came to do the work of the social services.
Oh, yeah.
So she is serving the community. Greg told her to put her T-shirt on and get out there and, hit the pavement. So she has hit the pavement to Mia, and she is doing the work for the community.
Yeah.
So Mia is on the phone with Gordon as she walks in, about to sit down and have this meeting to, help those in tough situations.
I hear you.
So Mia has to move around Gordon's mood because he's going through an episode. And I'm just like, every time Mia talk, Gordon going through an episode.
Every episode, boy.
Every episode, Gordon going through an episode.
It's reruns basically now,
She sees Kiana has shown compassion for her situation, so she feels comfortable talking to Kiana about what's going on. Kay tells her, I know you're probably used to it not being a big deal, but it is. And he's probably feeling emasculated, and maybe he thinks there's a chance for y'all to get back together. Mia reveals that he did ask for her to possibly get back together with him, and they just wouldn't be intimate.
Yeah.
And Kiana asks, just to be clear, Ink is the daddy, right? Mia talks about how they want to get a paternity test, but Gordon isn't going for it right now.
Yeah.
And then she talks about how the son is so much like Ink and all this type of stuff.
Boy, I'm telling you, she dirty, boy.
Talk about kids being off limits. I mean, I think Mia needs to realize her children are off limits.
It's her kids. So if she go talk about her kids like this, go ahead. Listen, I ain't gonna stop you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop you. I'm like, listen here, you are who you are, Mia.
Yeah. Well, Kay thinks that they should probably try not to move as a unit. Y'all probably need to get some boundaries and separation because it's probably triggering to Gordon.
Yeah.
It would be triggering to anybody, let alone somebody dealing with a mental illness.
Yeah.
So she tells her, look, I am going to have the social worker, my boss, Greg, get in touch with you to get you some resources, and I'll follow up with you afterwards, as a good community worker does.
Yes.
She did a great job with handling this case.
Yes. And I have a feeling that when you go back to Greg, your boss, and you say who you talk to, I feel like he gonna send you back out there and say, go talk to some real people. Okay. Because listen here, I ain't tell you to go film a scene for your little show.
Okay.
I told you to go and listen. That's the whole point of you being on the show. Look, I ain't want you to be on the show in the first place because you got your head knocked off. Because that's how Greg felt about it in the first place. Now, when you on the show and you're working, I need you to wear the polo. I need you to show the logo, open arms. Here's the thing. It would have been a great scene if there was real transparency and if all of this wasn't a farce, right? And when I say a farce, not on Kiana's part.
No.
Not at all.
No.
I'm all for Kiana.
And honestly, I say it jokingly, but I'm glad that she was there to actually provide some support and guidance to Mia, because Mia is literally like a fish out of water.
Look,
and Kiana is trying to give her some sense of a roadmap to just get to some stability. So if anybody, Kiana is the one who's actually being there for her. More than Jacqueline, if you ask me. Jacqueline be sitting over there throwing shots back while they get into fighting. I'm just like, that ain't no real friend.
Listen to what I'm saying. I have nothing against Kiana, right? My only thing is, I think everything about Mia's story is a farce. I need to know if he really got bipolar. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? And it just so happens that she's on the phone with Gordon when Kiana walks in. Because one thing that Mia's going to do is, listen, this is my story, and you're not going to really have a scene without me mentioning my story. This is what got me first chair, and this is what's going to keep me in first chair, especially with the lack of stories this season. You get what I'm saying? So no beef towards Kiana. I don't want to make it seem like Kiana's not doing her job. I just feel like the only way she's not doing her job is because the person that she's talking to is not going to implement it, or do I think is in real trouble in the way that Kiana was basically sharing. In the way that I even feel that way is based on the last scene that we got with Gordon and Mia and things of that nature. Kiana over here talking about real actual steps to actual set boundaries to not only protect yourself, but to protect the person that's also having mania episodes and things of that nature. And meanwhile, Mia's like, hey, it's working for you? It's working for me? We good. It's like, all right, I feel you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, Ashley goes on a date with this guy that she ain't never gonna see again.
I'll tell you this right now. I'm not talking about Ashley on the show ever again. So if y'all come here for Ashley scenes, it's not coming from here.
Yeah.
I'm done with Ashley. Yep. Right? Literally.
Let's not waste no more time. Mia is talking to her kids.
Yeah.
The son asks why they live in two separate places, Mia and her dad, and he tells her, you really didn't explain it to me. She says that they're getting a divorce because they can't get along. Gordon arrives.
Of course, mic'd up.
And Mia tells the kids that they will always be family. Jeremiah wants them to be together, and Gordon has just resigned himself to the fact that the divorce is coming.
Okay.
She asks the kids, do they know what marriage is? And Mia explains that it's when you choose to spend your life with someone. And the daughter starts to ask him where they met. Gordon says the club. He doesn't give specifications of what kind of club.
What type of club, Gordon?
And whether or not she was serving lobster and steak, or if she was on the pole. Well, the kids don't want her to get a divorce. They don't want her to marry Ink. Gordon thinks they need to have another conversation with the kids because it was kind of a disjointed conversation. Mia brings up how she kind of wants the kids to keep some of their innocence, but he doesn't want them to repeat the mistakes that they've made. He talks about how Mia, this would have been her second failed marriage. Gordon, is your second failed marriage too. Yeah. Then Mia wants them to know their value and when it's time to leave a relationship. Yeah. Mia ends up telling Gordon that Kay recommended that they create some boundaries, and Ink also thinks that they need to create some boundaries. Gordon says it's unusual, but it's working for them.
Of course.
She knows that she needs to focus on getting this divorce. That way she can be more emotionally available for Ink.
Is that it?
That is all.
Listen to what I'm saying, right? They are just, Gordon understands that, hey, I have been outed out by my family. I have been excommunicated from my family when it comes to business. So who is basically the prize horse that we got to ride? Mia, I'm going to live in this unit because when it's time to shoot a scene, I'm going to act like I don't want to be in the scene, but I'm going to let them mic me up. and I'm going to come in and I'm going to make sure, it's like, I don't think y'all really understand that, like, they are doing reality TV. That is what they're doing. The only problem that I think Blair has with it, and that other people like Blair has a problem with it, is that it's just not good. And it's not interesting. You get what I'm saying? But they are trying to come up with something. They're trying to squeeze some lemonade out of these lemons. And truth be told, this episode really wasn't that good, right? It wasn't really much to go off of. But I will say this, though, when it comes to Gordon, the reason why I really have no sympathy towards Gordon, to Blair kind of pointed out, and she pointed out passive-aggressively of how this is his second marriage. At that second failed marriage, the first marriage didn't have to fail, Gordon. What happened with the first marriage, right?
Mia.
Exactly. So, and guess what? What happened with the second marriage?
Ink.
No, Mia.
Oh, Mia.
So it's like, so it's the whole thing of like him talking about having to find your self-worth and things like that. And mind you, there was a daughter and a son right there, right? Yeah. So there's two different type of conversations you got to have. You got to have a conversation with your son about one way, and then you got to have a different conversations with your daughter and with another way, because the way you treated your first wife, you don't want your daughter to be treated that way, to where you got to go in a strip club and you just basically go with whatever that glitters to you, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to cheat on my first wife and then get with this wife and then basically get divorced from this wife. So it's like, Gordon, I think you just need to stop pointing fingers at Mia so much about her failures and things of that nature, and understand that y'all failing together, as Karen would say, as an institution.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Perfectly said. Yeah. And not much I have to give for Gordon and Mia during this episode. If they're going to get a divorce, just file the paperwork and get it done. Yeah. I'm also tired of hearing about the paternity of this little boy. I actually think it's crazy for y'all to, number one, for Gordon to put it out there. So I'll put it out there that, yes, he's the one that made it be known.
Thank you.
Mia continuing on with the conversation and speculation and playing into the fact that the boy acts like Ink in so many different ways. And to me, like, that is going to cause a lot of confusion when it comes to him. And to me, honestly, Mia nor Gordon sound equipped to be able to really handle hard conversations with their children. So they're putting all this stuff out here for the society to consume, and for the viewers to consume, to someone who might take it back to the kid at school or something like that. And these like conversations just, I feel like, are not rounding out what the kids need to know or have like some type of peace around the situation. The kids are talking about what they don't want, and the parents are just like, oh, you don't want that? Okay. And then just saying, we doing it anyway. So what's so it's like, point? What is the conversation? Yeah. Like, it's just, I think that Mia could do a better job of honestly, no, I don't think she could. She's doing the best she can.
Let's not lie.
She's doing the best she can.
Let's not lie. She literally cannot do a better job than what she's doing right now. Anything else, Blair?
That's it.
We see y'all next time.
Bye.